Hey, people. I wish I'd get that to quit shaking like that. How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? Well, my little home time vacation is over. I done picked up a load, a little dropping hook up here in Ponca City. I'm headed back up to the Great White North, up to the Twin Cities, friendly to be exact. Check out that sunset. That right there is why we do this job. Look at that. Tell me that is not absolutely beautiful. Thank you, God, for this day. Oh, mercy. Well, I've had an absolutely good time at home. Most excellent. Took my daughter out to dinner twice. Once, even took my daughter and my ex-wife out to dinner. It's actually a pleasant experience. But I know some people don't get that, but you should be civil and chivalrous to your exes. Really defines what kind of man you are right there. But anyway, got a funny story to share with you. Alright, if y'all have ever noticed, well, I'm sure some of you have, but I haven't in the last few months, I generally wear a little silver Bluetooth adapter for my hearing aids on my collar of my shirt. And that's a microphone and Bluetooth adapter, connects my phone to my hearing aids, my truck to my hearing aids, all that good stuff, right? Well, anyway, a couple months ago I broke it and had to go without. That's kind of like bummer, right? Well, anyway, I took it to the VA and they said they couldn't fix it. They'd have to mail me a new one. So my daughter received it for me in the mail and I picked it up from my girl and got back to the truck and unwrapped it and realized they didn't put any instructions in it. How to connect it to their hearing aids or anything else. So it wasn't really no big deal. I mean, I was actually parked at the Petro downtown, so I was just within a mile or two of the VA hospital. And the neat thing about the audio clinic, if you're needing repairs or anything technical done to your hearing aids, that doesn't require an appointment. You can just walk in and a technician will see you on a first come, first served basis. Kind of crowded my way on there. I appreciate you giving me a little room there, brother. Anyway, so I decided just to run by the hospital and go to the VA clinic, the audio clinic, and walk in there and just have a technician show me how to connect the Bluetooth on it. Anyway, so you get to the audio clinic, part of the hospital, and I have a big waiting room out there. You understand, this is a whole bunch of deaf people sitting around waiting for hearing aids or be fitted or that kind of thing, right? So just about everybody in the waiting room is deaf. Well, the nurse every once in a while would walk out, call the name for who's next, like Mr. Johnson, Mr. Bill Johnson, and everybody in the room would start looking at everybody else going, what'd she say? I about died laughing. I thought that was the freaking funniest thing. Anyway, so finally the technician comes back and it was like, Mr. Vandenburgh, Walt Vandenburgh? Yeah, that's me. I'm going to walk back here. I said, that's kind of cold-hearted walking into a room full of a bunch bunch of deaf people announcing their name. I said, every time you do that, everybody in the room is like, what'd you say? Like the guy across from me, he was with his dad, and he goes, no, Dad, it's not your turn yet. Freaking hilarious. I said, man, that's kind of cold. Everybody out there is deaf waiting for their hearing aids. And even the technician, he started laughing. And I said, here's a novel idea. Instead of going in there announcing, just asking, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Bill Johnson, you're next. Why don't you get a little whiteout board and you could write the name on it, so when you walk in the room you can say the name and just hold the board up. Well, that would make too much sense now, wouldn't it? Guy was like, it's a good idea. Like, hell, y'all have only been doing it for 40 years. I mean, I think somebody figured it out. I did ask him, I said, so how long have you worked for the VA? And he goes, about 2 years now. So, always chit-chat with him in there. I'll tell you, I always hear all these war stories about how, how terrible the VA is. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not been my experience. Man, I get the best care. I love my personal physician with the VA. I love all the care that I've got. I've never had to wait. They've always gone far above and beyond. Super nice to me. Always taking great care of me. I mean, I think I get better care at the VA than I ever did from private medicine. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's funny whenever I go into the VA, especially if it's something to do with my ears. The reason why I'm deaf is I got blown up. I took an HE directly to my right side, totally imploded everything on the right side. So that's the reason why I'm deaf on the right, 70% hearing loss on the left. Yeah, I got my bell rung. But every time I go into the VA hospital and I'm dealing with a doctor or somebody that doesn't know me, they look into my chart and they went, HE to the right side. They go, dude, you got to tell me this story. How'd you get blown up like that? I think it's funny. Anyway, maybe that's what's wrong with me. Got blown up, got my bell rung a little bit too hard. Oh, mercy. It's all good now. Well, we are headed up to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Got a nice little run. It's only 715 miles. I don't even deliver tomorrow night. I don't deliver till Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. It's kind of loose. I can take my breaks as I want. It'll be a nice little run. Oh, got my truck fixed. Yeah, my APU was on the fritz. Man, it just made me... I was about to lose a fuse over that APU. I ain't gonna kid you. The way they got these trucks set up is, number one, they want you to use the APU. They don't want you to idle the truck. APU doesn't use hardly any diesel. Idling in a truck, I guess, burns $20, $30 worth of diesel a night. So they want you to run the APU. So they got this dadgum idle monitor on these trucks, where if the temperature is above 40 degrees and below 80 degrees, the truck will not idle. It'll run for 5 minutes and it automatically cuts itself off. Well, when the APU's working fine, that's all hunky-dory, no worries, right? As soon as you stop, you're going to turn on your APU and run your air conditioner or heater or whatever you need that way. Well, my APU was on the fritz. You'd turn it on, it'd come on and run for a minute, and then it'd turn off. And it just so happened 3 nights in a row without an APU, and the temperature at night was about 42 degrees, just above 40. So I couldn't idle my truck, and the APU wouldn't run. Man, I'm freezing my ass off back here sleeping. Crazy. Anyway, so first thing this morning, called into the shop, talked to Barry, told him what my problem was. Told him I was having a problem keeping the voltage up on my truck. Needed a jump yesterday. Was having to idle up the truck 3 or 4 times a day to keep my voltage up. I said my APU's not working. Yada yada yada. I said I'd have an idea that it might be something to do with a bad battery. You know, the truck's got 160,000 miles on it. Might be due for a set of batteries. Anyway, he was looking at it and he goes, "Oh, the things you're talking about, I'm not showing that it's throwing any codes." And I went, "Well, I don't know what your computer's telling you, but this is what's happening out here." And he goes, "What time you got to pick up?" I said, "I don't pick up until Ponca City at 6 o'clock this evening. I'm only about 2 hours away from there." And he goes, "Well, you're in Oklahoma City right now. Why don't we just go ahead and throw you into Thermo King, see if we can't get that APU fixed?" And I'm like, you know, I like that plan. Yes, let's send me to Thermo King and get the APU fixed. So I went in there. Got in there about 11 o'clock this morning. Technician had me out of there about 1:30. Said he took all the skins off of it and was about to take the alternator off of the APU. And once he got all the skins off of it and saw the back side of it, there's a wiring harness that actually just came loose. And he looked at it and said there was some corrosion in it, so he replaced that wiring harness on there, put it back together. Then he followed the wiring all the way up to my battery, you know, where it charges the batteries. And he said the nut that was on the connector for where it hooks into the batteries was rusted. So he took it off, cleaned it all up, made it look new again, shot a little oil on it, put it all back together. Now that fixed everything. Fixed my voltage problem, fixed my APU problem, fixed it all. So everything works on the truck again. See how long that lasts, right? So I am a happy guy. And I had to hit the scales on the way out. I am 78,000 pounds, 41,000 something in the box. We a little heavy, but I'm full of fuel and everything. I scaled out nice, you know, 33 something on the drives, right at 33 on the tandems. So we got a nice balanced load. A little heavier on the drives just in case I run into weather or snow. So it's all good, man. Everything's good in my world. Life is good. I did go though when I filled up this morning. I went to get my cash advance. You know, you get $150 cash advance every week, and that's due available on Sunday. So today's Monday, so I can get a cash advance if I want one. So when I filled up for fuel, I went to the counter. I said it didn't prompt me for a cash advance. So she looked up my numbers and everything. She goes, "Well, slide your card through there again." So I slid my card through there, and she looked it up on the computer, and she goes, "Well, it doesn't say you have a cash advance available to you." I said, "Really? That's odd." So I got back in the truck, got on the road. You know, I don't mind. I can use my card. You know, it's not like I'm short of money or nothing. I just like having the cash on hand. You know, card today. I filled up with fuel. I said, but it didn't say that there was a cash advance or nothing on there. I said, what the heck, dear? Did y'all fire me and nobody tell me or what? And she started laughing. She goes, nope, that would never happen, Walt. I would fight tooth or nail before I'd ever let that happen. I said, well, thank you much. She goes, no, what probably happened, Walt, is when you go on home time, they turn off the cash advance. I said, really? She goes, yeah. So if you just come back out today, somebody forgot to turn it back on for you. She goes, I'll give Jordan a shout and make sure that gets turned back on for you. I said, well, that'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be cool. Ain't no big deal. I'll get my cash advance next time I feel. And that was almost like a little mini poem there, wasn't it? Anyway, I'd be driving down going, I feel good. Man, I tell you, one of the best things I did while I was on home time is I got to go to worship service with my daughter at Life Church. Man, that is the most awesome thing. When you hear somebody talking about church, I'm going to tell you, you've never experienced anything like Life Church. It's different. It's like a concert. Like a concert. This church, there's 35 campuses nationwide. This is a huge church. Like some of them have 11 services in a day, and they're packed, every single one of them. The one that we went to was on Saturday night at 4 o'clock. Held about 3,000 people. It was packed. But I am so overwhelmed every time I go to one of their services to see so many on fire for Christ and all in worship like that. I'm going to tell you, it makes me cry. I literally have tears flowing almost the majority of the service. It is awesome. So if you ever get an opportunity to go to a Life Church service, go check that out. That's just way too cool for school. Now I'll tell you something, since we're on that subject. My YouTube channel was growing really well, and it had a very constant growth to it. Right up to the point where I started sharing little snippets about my faith. When I started revealing on my YouTube channel that I was a Christian and I believed in Christ and the teachings of Christ, about half, my numbers dropped in half. The number of views, how fast I gained subscribers, all that dropped in half. And you know what, if that's the way it's going to be, let it be that way. Let it be that way. I'd rather be on the side of the Lord than be on the side of the world. Just like the scripture says, there are some that will receive their reward on earth, and there are some that will receive their reward in heaven. So be it. Amen. I can wait. I have no problem waiting for my reward. Let's see, what else we need? Oh, at the pilot up by Edmond, I got up there last night, turned my rental car in, got back up to the pilot last night, and there's some woods off to the north of it there that they had cut roads into. I guess they're getting ready to build some houses in through there. Anyway, so it's about 160 acres of land. It's got fresh cut roads in it. Well, me and Bang got to go for a walk for about 2 hours. Let Bang run through the woods. She's giving me that look like, wasn't long enough, Jack. Anyway, we had a good time walking through the woods. Oh, on the rental car thing. Here's something to talk about. I do not own a car. First time ever in my life, I don't own a car. I'm generally one that owns a couple. But I had a pickup, and this little gal, I knew her. I mean, I knew her, but I didn't know that there had been some changes in her life, right? Well, anyway, she had come on hard times. She'd called me up, was wanting to know if there was anybody that I knew that'd help her with, giving her a loan for a car or this, that, and the other. And so I asked her, I said, so what are you doing? She said she was going to school and trying to learn how to be a social worker. And she had about a year left. And anyway, she just needed to be able to have a little time to save up some money for a car. And I told her, I said, well, you know where the crossroads are? I said, that truck stop there. I said, you go down there, my pickup is sitting there in the parking lot. Just go get it. I said, I probably haven't driven it in 6 months. I said, the tag is probably out on it, so you'll have to get insurance and a tag on it. And anyway, and I told her, I tell you what, call, find out how much the insurance and the tag on it. I'll send you the money for it. Because I knew she didn't have it. And I didn't want her driving the truck without insurance and a legal tag. So anyway, set her up, told her to borrow the truck. Said if you need to use it for 6 months, I don't care. I'm not driving it. Now, if you know me, I'm not one for spending money on a sled with wheels, especially not my farm truck. I like 1995 Chevy pickups. I'm either going to have a 1995 Chevy pickup or a 2003 one-ton Ford with a 7.3 diesel in it. Either the Chevy with the 350 or the Ford 350 with the 7.3. 2003. I won't buy one any newer than that. They ain't made a pickup since 2003 if you want to know my feelings about it. And I can still buy a 2003 F350 with a 7.3 diesel in it. It's only got 100,000 miles on it, and that motor will run 1,000,000 miles. You can still buy a truck like that that looks ta-ta meow, a nice interior, nice truck, all that kind of stuff, for about 14 grand or less. And if something goes wrong with it, you can still work on it. Doesn't have all that computer crap on it. Anyway, that's my ideas about a vehicle. Anyway, the little gal I loaned my pickup to, she'd had it for a year. And I told her I wanted my truck back. The reason why I wanted it back is because I wanted to sell it. And I wanted to buy me a 2003 one-ton Ford. And she said, no problem, no problem. I said, I'll be back in Oklahoma in about a month. No problem, everything's good. Well, then when I get back to Oklahoma, I'm calling her and stuff, and she's dodging me. Dodging me. I did not know that the reason why this little guy had fallen on hard times is she turned into a little crackhead. And that's the reason why her life went to crap. And she had flat tore that 95 Chevy pickup up. Tore it up. I mean, that truck was mint condition. The interior looked like it just come off the factory floor. I mean, sure, it was an old 95 pickup, but it was a nice 95 pickup, right? Hell, when I found it, the wheels didn't even match. The tires were mismatched. fix that truck. And he goes, Walt, I don't know if you want to fix it or not. And I said, well, just how much would it be to put it back in the same condition it was before I loaned it to you? And he goes, you know, Walt, to tell you the truth, it probably cost you more money to fix it than what it was worth. And I'm like, damn. So the girl totaled my truck. And I knew Jeff had bought another body for a 95 pickup that didn't have the motor and the transmission in it. So anyway, I told Jeff, I said, well, if that's the case, I said, why don't you go, I said, it's got a good motor and a good tranny in it. You want to pull that motor and tranny out of it, keep it for yourself, go ahead and do that. I said, and just roll the rest over to the scales, whatever it pulls at the scales, give me that, and we'll call it square. So that's what we did with the pickup. So, but I'm going to tell you, driving OTR, you're never home. There's absolutely no reason in buying a car just because you can afford it. You know, just because you can drive a brand new. Never buy a new Cadillac before I let that fall out of my mouth. Anyway, just because you can afford to drive a Cadillac don't mean you ought to. I tell you how I do cars. As long as I'm driving OTR, I rent. Because I don't go home but, you know, every other month. And I only go home for 2 or 3 days. So I'll just rent me a full-size car from Hertz. Unlimited mileage. Pick out what I want to drive. Now I'd actually reserved a Mazda 6. And when I went out the lot to pick my car, I couldn't find my Mazda 6. And I didn't want to step up and pay the extra money for the Cadillac because I wasn't going to be putting on the Ritz or the Airs or nothing like that. Didn't have any business to do. So anyway, just a regular full size would be fine. Well, they had a brand new Nissan Altima. Had 100 miles on it. Black. Sharp looking car from the outside. Anyway, so that's what I rented. Now that was, I don't know what they'll sell for new, probably $25,000, $26,000 new. But I'm going to tell you, I was not impressed at all. I thought the interior on it looked kind of cheap. That was good size. It drove nice. It had a lot of road noise. And it drove a little boxy. I mean, you could feel and hear everything on the road. I just wasn't impressed. Had good get up and go, lots of room, all that kind of stuff. I just wasn't impressed with the car, I'm going to tell you right now. So next time I rent a full size, I find it hard to believe they consider an Altima and a Mazda 6 a full size. But next time I'm going to be very demanding to get my Mazda. But yeah, I just rent a car wherever I need one. You know, last summer, wasn't last summer, it was the summer before, had my daughter with me and we went up to Utah and we wanted to go play tourist for a day. So I rented a Camaro convertible. Now that was a car. Even with the little V6 in it, white Camaro convertible, black leather interior, yeehaw, I loved that car. I'd buy one of those. But anyway, enough about cars. Anyway, so that was my home time. And that was good time at home. Feel refreshed, ready to go, ready to get back after it. We were on the road, headed to the Twin Cities. Life is good. Anyway, I hope y'all are absolutely feeling the blessing in life that I do every day. God bless each and every one. Remember, you too can change the world. All you got to do is be nice to each other. Bye-bye.